Hello, and welcome to this episode dedicated to a key moment in the history of France. Today, we'll explore the role of the Kingdom of France in the Crusades, especially in 1204. The Crusades began at the end of the 11th century when Pope Urban II called for the First Crusade in 1095, urging Christians in Europe to liberate Jerusalem, a holy city for Christians, from Muslim control. The Crusades were marked by a complex mix of religious, political, and economic motivations. The First Crusade, 1096 to 1099. In 1095, Pope Urban II called for an expedition to liberate Jerusalem, and the response from the Kingdom of France was massive. Many French lords, driven by a mix of religious fervor and promises of glory, joined the expedition. Among them, Godfrey of Bouillon and his brother Baldwin of Boulogne stood out. With their companions, they succeeded in capturing Jerusalem in 1099. The role of French lords during this crusade was pivotal, and the French participation was so prominent that this First Crusade is often referred to as the Crusade of the Franks. The Second Crusade, 1147 to 1149. The Kingdom of France once again played a significant role in this second expedition. In 1146, after the fall of Edessa, Saint Bernard of Clairvaux called for a new crusade, and King Louis VII responded to the call. This time, the goal was to recapture Edessa and secure Christian territories in the Holy Land. Louis VII, accompanied by his wife Eleanor of Aquitaine, led his army, but the crusade ended in failure. Nevertheless, it strengthened the ties between the French nobility and the crusading cause, even though it did not achieve its military objectives. The Third Crusade, 1189 to 1192. In 1187, Jerusalem was retaken by Saladin, a shock to all of Christendom. The King of France, Philip Augustus, and the King of England, Richard the Lionheart, joined forces to reconquer the Holy City. Philip Augustus, aware of the need to strengthen the French position in the Holy Land, actively participated in the battles to retake coastal cities. Although Jerusalem was not recaptured, the cities of Acre and Jaffa fell into the hands of the Crusaders. At the end of this crusade, Philip Augustus returned to France, leaving Richard the Lionheart to continue the campaign alone. In 1202, a new crusade, known as the Fourth Crusade, was launched. Initially, its main objective was to reclaim Jerusalem. However, the Crusaders, mainly from France, soon diverted from this mission. In 1204, instead of reaching the Holy Land, the Crusaders besieged Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire. This decision was driven by promises of wealth and political support from Byzantine nobles, revealing a shift in priorities, profit and political influence over the original religious goal. Although Philip Augustus was not directly involved in the Fourth Crusade, his support of the French nobles participating in it was crucial. About 35% of the Crusaders came from France, highlighting the kingdom's importance in this expedition. Philip understood that the crusade could not only strengthen the authority of French nobles, but also increase his own power by solidifying alliances with other lords. The capture of Constantinople in April 1204 allowed the Crusaders to seize enormous wealth, including artistic treasures and economic resources. The conquest of Constantinople had significant repercussions. The establishment of the Latin Empire of Constantinople created a shift in relations between the East and the West. Tensions between Christians and Muslims intensified, and the weakened Byzantine Empire would never fully recover from this loss. Economically, French merchants gained privileged access to Mediterranean trade routes, but this also fostered resentment and growing mistrust towards the Crusaders. The Fourth Crusade, despite its religious objectives, demonstrates how political and economic ambitions could distort Christian ideals. The deviation of this crusade sparked criticism within the church and among the faithful, raising questions about the legitimacy of these expeditions. By supporting this crusade, Philip Augustus participated in a pivotal moment that redefined relations between the Christian West and the Muslim East, with consequences that continue to influence modern perceptions. Thank you for listening to this episode on the role of the Kingdom of France in the Crusades, and in particular that of 1204. We invite you to discover more moments in the history of France by subscribing to our channel. See you soon.